Today, we're going on the incredible journey your food takes after you swallow. It's a trip that happens inside every single one of us every single day, but honestly, most of us have no clue what's really going on in there.
I mean, really think about it. You take a bite, you chew, you swallow, and then what? It just kind of vanishes. But it's not magic. It's an unbelievably complex and perfectly coordinated system at work.
So, from that moment of swallowing, your food is embarking on this epic 5-meter-long journey through what's called the gastrointestinal tract. You might know it as the GI tract. And we're going to follow a piece of food from the very start all the way to the finish line. Now, to really get what's happening, you just need to keep 4 main jobs, 4 crucial activities in the back of your mind. These are the things your digestive system is doing every step of the way. Okay, here they are. First, motility, which is just a fancy word for moving the food along. Then secretion, which is releasing all the chemical juices we're going to need. Digestion, the actual breaking down of the food. And finally, absorption, which is where we pull all those amazing nutrients into the body. Let's see them in action. So, our first stop is the gateway. This is where it all kicks off, right in your mouth and then down the esophagus. Chewing, or the scientific term mastication, is so much more than just crushing up your food. It's actually step 1 of digestion. This mechanical grinding creates a way bigger surface area, which is perfect because your saliva is already mixing in, releasing an enzyme that starts breaking down starches right then and there. And swallowing? It feels like one simple action, but it's actually this perfectly timed 3-part reflex. First, your tongue pushes the food back. Then, and this is amazing, your airway automatically seals itself off so you don't choke. And finally, the esophagus takes over and begins to push the food down. And that final step is powered by these incredible wave-like muscle contractions. It's called peristalsis. The best way to picture it is like a one-way escalator, squeezing the food down the 25-centimeter-long esophagus and delivering it right to the stomach's front door. All right, our food has arrived at the second major stop, the stomach. And trust me, this is where things really start to get intense. The stomach isn't just one big pouch. It kind of has 2 different zones with 2 different jobs. The upper part is like a storage room. It just relaxes and holds all the food that's coming in. But the lower part, that's a total powerhouse, like a muscular cement mixer that just churns and grinds everything with some serious force. And while all that churning is going on, the stomach is releasing some seriously powerful juices. We're talking hydrochloric acid that kills off bad bacteria and gets the enzymes fired up. The main enzyme here is pepsin, and its job is to start the heavy-duty work of breaking down proteins. So, with all that acid and protein-eating enzyme, why doesn't the stomach just digest itself? Well, that's where this thick layer of mucus comes in. It's a crucial protective barrier. So this combo of mechanical churning and chemical warfare turns the food into this thick, acidic paste called chyme. And by the way, if you've ever heard your stomach gurgle, that's pretty much what you're hearing. This chyme is now officially prepped and ready for the next leg of the journey. And that next stage, well, it's the main event. It's the star of the whole show, the small intestine. And don't let that name fool you. Its job is absolutely huge. This is where most of the digestion and almost all of the absorption happens. The small intestine is all about one thing, creating as much surface area as it possibly can. See, to absorb tons of nutrients, it can't just be a simple, smooth tube. The entire inner wall is covered in these huge folds, but let's zoom in even closer. Because on every single one of those folds are millions of these tiny finger-like things called villi. This incredible structure, folds on top of folds, gives the small intestine a total surface area about the size of a tennis court. It's a massive, massive net designed to catch every last useful nutrient. Now, the movement in here is like a 2-step dance. First, you have these pinching contractions called segmentation, which just slosh the chyme back and forth, mixing it really well with all the digestive juices. Then you have peristalsis again, that familiar wave, which slowly pushes everything along. It's this constant, efficient rhythm of mix and move, mix and move. Okay, so for all of its amazing architecture, the small intestine can't do this job all by itself. It needs some backup. It calls on 2 neighboring organs to provide the specialized tools it needs to finish the job. And here are our expert assistants. First up, the pancreas. Think of it as the enzyme factory.
It pumps out powerful juices that can break down carbs, fats, and proteins. It also releases bicarbonate, which is absolutely vital for neutralizing that harsh acid from the stomach. Then you have the liver, which produces bile that gets stored in the gallbladder. Bile basically acts like dish soap, breaking up big blobs of fat into tiny little droplets that the enzymes can actually attack.
So how does all this happen at just the right moment? It's all run by chemical messengers. As soon as food arrives, hormones are released that tell the pancreas and liver, okay, go time, release the juices. It's this perfectly timed, beautifully choreographed communication network. So what's the end result of all this teamwork? Well, carbohydrates like starches get completely broken down into simple sugars, like glucose. These are absorbed right into your bloodstream and get shipped off to your cells for immediate energy. This is literally your body's fuel. And proteins? The breakdown that started in the stomach gets finished off here by more powerful enzymes. They're dismantled into their core components, amino acids, and these are the fundamental building blocks your body uses for everything, to build muscle, to repair tissue, you name it. We are nearing the end of the line. After the small intestine has worked its magic and absorbed all those nutrients, whatever's left over moves into the final processing plant, the large intestine. At this point, the real heavy lifting is over. The large intestine's main job is pretty simple: absorb most of the leftover water and electrolytes, which concentrates the waste. But it's not just a passive tube. It's also home to trillions of beneficial bacteria. These little microbes are actually our partners. They produce essential vitamins for us, like B and K, that we absorb. So the next time you sit down for a meal, just take a second to think about that incredible, fully automated factory working away inside you. From that first bite to the final absorption, it is a perfectly choreographed dance of muscle, acid, and enzymes, all working together to power your life. And the most amazing part? It all happens without you ever having to give it a single thought. Just incredible, isn't it?